in US dollars. The Chinese market is quite difficult to access, and it is very attractive not only for Kazakhstan, but also for all players of the region. In this regard, China applies a fairly wide range of tools to protect the domestic market, including tariff and non-tariff measures. Nevertheless, 11 agreements signed by the Kazakh Ministry of Agriculture and China have opened up the Chinese market to local farmers. The main export items in China are vegetable oil, cereals, and legumes. Frozen mutton and fodder grasses are included under the new agreements. In the near future, barley and corn will also be exported to China.
В настоящее время наши предприятия все казахстанские функционируют в рамках Евразийского.
Today, all our enterprises operate as part of the Eurasian Economic Union. The EAEU requirements, international requirements, and standards are maximally implemented by our enterprises. Since most of the requirements are taken into account within our Eurasian requirements, the enterprises are ready to export to China.
Большинство требований учтены в наших евразийских требованиях.
Kazakhstan intends to further expand its export opportunities. By the end of the year, agreements on the export of beef and pork to China will be reached. In the future, the sale of local fruits and vegetables to the Chinese market will be ensured. Kazakhstan's transport transit potential is growing. The volumes of freight traffic on the section of the Western Europe-Western China corridor grew by 15% since the beginning of the year in Kizilorda region. The annual average economic impact totals more than 190 billion tenge. The government allocated 164 billion tenge for the construction of 812 kilometers of road. The highway provides comfort as well as new opportunities for business development. Investments in this field totaled 4.5 billion tenge. 41 service centers will be constructed along the highway, including 19 commissioned centers. According to specialists, the traffic flow currently reaches 9,000 cars a day, including more than 800 cargo trucks. The fares for driving along the roads of the first and the second categories will slightly differ in our regional section of the highway. 2 crossing points will operate here. Kurik Ferry Port is playing a great role in the expansion of Kazakhstan's transit opportunities. Meanwhile, 2.6 million tons of freight have been transshipped since the port's commissioning, including more than 1.2 million tons in the first 7 months of this year. At this port, Kazakhstan-made grains, oil, consumer goods, and fertilizers are shipped for export. Kazakhstan's second seaport received 620 ships so far and has the capacity to fit 5 cargo ships at a time. The transit freights are delivered to the port by railroad from China and reloaded to ships departing to Europe. Goods such as metal, furniture, construction supplies, and food products are shipped in the opposite direction. There are 4 ships harbored here. In addition, there are 500 wagons waiting for their turn. We prioritize shipping grains, coal, oil products, and transit freights from China. For the development of the Eurasian transport corridors, about $30 billion were invested in the transport and logistics infrastructure over the past 10 years. Projects aimed at modernization and construction of infrastructural facilities is being implemented as well. Investments in the field will total more than $8 billion by 2020. It will boost trade flows along the Silk Road, allowing Kazakhstan to strengthen its position as the regional transit and logistics hub. Farmers in Jambil region are increasing the number of livestock of the elite beef breeds. They're planning to increase the value to 36,000 animals by 2024. Local businessmen brought 1,700 units of Kalmyk cattle and 600 cows of Kazakh white-headed breed from Russia. The farmers are going to purchase additional 3,000 units. The export potential is growing in the region. This year, farmers shipped almost 1,500 tons of beef to Iran and Bahrain. 19 applications have been submitted to receive loans by the 2018 to 2027 sectoral program for the development of beef cattle farming. Financing for 3 of the applications total 104 million tenge. Local farmers are negotiating with the Russian partners on the additional purchase of cattle. There are 3 large meat processing plants in our region that deal with processing of large amounts of meat. The anchor farm cooperatives provide vast opportunities for farmers to develop their export potential. This program will allow boosting the meat exports in the future. Products of beauty industry made of horsehair. American businessman Ashok Jalani purchases horsehair in Kazakhstan. 200 grams of hair can be obtained from one horse. The haircut done on horses does not change their overall appearance, and some hairs are left for natural protection. The businessman owns enterprises and beauty salons in the United States. He manufactures not only eyelashes and wigs made of horsehair, but also bows for musical instruments.
I think, according to statistics, there are 2 million horses in Kazakhstan. And the horse that we're interested in is about 10%.
Ashok Jalani has tried to obtain the raw materials in Mongolia and China. However, he was not satisfied with the quality. The entrepreneur says that Kazakh raw materials are very strong. Now, the American businessman plans to open a company in Kazakhstan in the near future.
And we will develop the product here. And with the help of Mr. Kerat and Gulnar, we can consolidate this whole area.
Scientists say horsehair grows back in 2 years. It is important to cut the hairs based on standard procedures and preferably in autumn. Kyrgyzstan is focusing on the development of ethnotourism. Today, the country's picturesque nature and original culture attract travelers from all over the world. The World Nomad Games has become a large-scale project that gave impetus to strengthening of the tourist potential of the Republic. According to Kyrgyz Ministry of Culture, Information and Tourism, this year, 70,000 foreign tourists arrived for the 3rd international competition in ethnic sports.
После проведения в 2016 году Всемирных игр кочевников у нас количество туристов увеличилось.
After the World Nomad Games in 2016, the number of tourists has increased many times. This year, we have advertised Kyrgyzstan owing to the World Nomad Games. We advertised about Kyrgyzstan for the whole year, invited people to Kyrgyzstan, and now we see a huge number of foreign tourists on the Issyk-Kul coast, our Jailao, ravines, and resort towns.
Озеро Иссык-Куль, в наших Джайло, ущельях, в городах курортных.
Today, new trends such as Jailo tourism is actively developing in Kyrgyzstan. Foreign tourists can get away from civilization by settling on mountain pastures in yurts. During the World Nomad Games, the ethno village in the Kirchin tract has become a tourist center of the country, where rich cultural program and sports competitions were presented to foreign guests, including Salburun traditional hunting and archery.
Yeah, I think it has huge potential. I've been thinking about this a lot. I mean, take Kyrgyzstan, it's 93% mountains. And a lot of the trekking routes are very new. They're very recently established. Some of them haven't really been tested that much. So I think for anyone who's into the outdoors, anyone who likes nature, anyone who's a trekker, you know, and a nature enthusiast of any type, it's really the dream destination.
According to the rating of the British Backpacker Society, Kyrgyzstan joined the list of the top 5 countries for adventure tourism in 2018. Every 3rd Friday of the month will become a day without a car in Uzbekistan, based on the resolution adopted by the Uzbek government. The campaign will be held in late September as parliament members will start using the public transport. If the residents support the idea, the campaign will be regular.
yuqoridagi holat bo'yicha baribir o'sha avtomobilsiz harakat kun albatta bu monitoring bo'linadi.
First of all, we will monitor and learn the people's opinion. The survey will be held in crowded public areas such as bazaars and the city center. Everyone can participate in the campaign. We want to relieve traffic for one day and demonstrate that we can change the situation.
Harakat bo'ladi va Mana bozorlarimizni oldida
There are almost 1 million cars in Tashkent, not including transit vehicles. The authorities do not force residents to use public transport. However, car users support this campaign. For example, a driver with 40-year experience, Gadni Abdullayev, welcomed the idea of giving up driving once a month.
75 yıldan beri müstakil maşinadayım.
I have been driving since 1975. The traffic flow has significantly increased. The government's campaign, A Day Without a Car, is an excellent idea. It will help improve the traffic and the environment and will promote a new habit. Moreover, walking is healthy.
Lekin hozirgi mana bu
According to the Uzbek government's act, another campaign titled A Day of Road Traffic Safety will be held every Friday. There are a number of events organized in Uzbekistan aimed at maintaining public security. For example, a special tourist police was created in cities such as Samarkand, Bukhara and Khiva to provide security. Results of the 3-year excavation and restoration works of the historical past were summed up at the Altai is a Golden Cradle of the Turkic World International Research and Practical Conference. The forum traditionally gives opportunity to discuss achievements in archaeology not only at Republican scale but also at continental level. Moreover, the results of the 3-year regional program have been colossal. During the excavation, more than 19,000 artifacts have been found which are of interest to the entire world community. Scientists of the European countries and the countries of near and far abroad study our region. This contributes to the close interaction of our scientists. In return, this is popularization of our history and culture overseas. One of the main sensations of the season was a new golden man. A team of master of Kazakh archaeology, Zainola Shamashev, discovered the new golden man in one of the Yeleke Sazi mounds in the Tarbagatai district. The remains of a young man in a gold robe belong to the 8th to 7th centuries BC. The scientist says that there are more interesting findings which are still waiting to be discovered. For example, there are some gaps in our country in the study of the stone and the Bronze Age. Mines and production centers of ancient times are very important. As a result of the forum, the archaeological program will be extended for an additional 3 years. The financing will be doubled. A special laboratory for in-depth study of artifacts will be opened in the region. This will give a new impetus to the development of archaeology in the country. Books of Kazakh publishing houses have been highly appreciated at the International Book Fair in Moscow. Most of the books were sold out in the early days of the book fair. My Kazakhstan series was the first to be sold out. The book includes literature about nature, culture, and history of the country. The novel titled Amina Turan in the Country of Nomads gained special interest among readers. This is the first children's book of the fantasy genre published in Kazakh. The Moscow Book Fair is the largest and oldest event in Russia and Eastern Europe. The exhibition traditionally starts in September to mark the opening of the book season. This year's main topic is children's literature. 300 publishers from 25 countries have been presented at the book fair. This year we have a new book by Zaure Turikhanova. We published the children's book of the fantasy genre in Kazakhstan for the first time. She was awarded with the Altin Kalam Literary Prize. She is a winner of the Altin Tobilgi Prize of the first president of Kazakhstan. We're selling her book. I think we will see the results soon. We brought books that are popular both in Russia and Kazakhstan. We also brought new books. We want the books to be of good quality not only inside, but also we want them to look good outside. Therefore, the book covers attract attention. They can be too bright, but they have our oriental color. The first International Almaty Film Festival will be organized from September 15 to 19. The event will feature 10 films from Kazakhstan, France, Russia, the United States, and other countries. Winners will be determined based on nominations such as Grand Prix, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Special Jury Prize. Well-known artists will evaluate the work, including actress Natasya Kinski, French film producers Marc Rouskar and Pierre Spengler. 21 films have been declared in the out-of-competition program, and the best best film will be selected by UNESCO representatives. The focus is on children's cinema. Famous animated film The Lion King will open the festival. Director of The Lion King, Rob Minkoff, will visit the Almaty Film Festival.
Опять-таки, говоря о непосредственно... Все понравилось. Ну, начали 2 лет, у нас был достаточно такой...
Хотелось бы отметить, что основная миссия нашего фестиваля, если смотреть с творческой точки зрения, то это сближение культур.
I would like to highlight that in terms of a creative standpoint, the main goal of our festival is the rapprochement of cultures. We want to attract international projects to our country, particularly to our city. We can join forces with our foreign colleagues to choose Almaty and the Almaty region as locations for filming. Of course, this is primarily a big support for private and commercial cinema to join the international level.
Поддержка частному кино. То есть коммерческому кино, для выхода на международный уровень.
Kazakh State Academic Opera and Ballet Theatre, named after Abay, successfully presented its performances in Georgia. The 3-day tour started with the premiere of the worldwide famous opera Abay. The work by Ahmed Zhubanov and Latif Hamidi has been the signature of the Kazakh artists for several decades. It is the story of the romantic and adventurous love between Azhar and Aidar and the struggle between conservatism and reformation.
Для нас это, конечно, очень ответственное событие и очень радостное, потому что наши...
It is a very important and exciting event for us because of the old cultural ties between our countries. Of course, we are familiar with the Georgian culture as we watch their films and plays whenever we could, and we love Georgian polyphonic singing. We know that the Georgian audience is well aware of our long-term friendship that originated long ago.
Мы знаем, что и грузинская публика знает о нашей дружбе давней, которая начиналась очень давно.
It is the first premiere for soloist Zarina Altinbayeva. The opera singer admits that the areas of her main character Azhar are challenging, though not technically but emotionally.
Там очень большие такие перепады эмоциональные. Вначале они вместе с ее возлюбленным Айдаром убегают.
There is intense emotional range. In the beginning, my character and her boyfriend Aidar escape and people chase them. Then they are nearly killed and eventually get married because of Abay, who resolved the dispute and made their wedding with Aidar possible. In the end, Aidar was killed and she was left alone. It is very emotionally challenging.
И очень сложно эмоционально.
Georgian spectators enjoyed the famous opera for 2.5 hours. The artists of the Kazakh theatre demonstrated their best performances. The audience was amazed at the richly decorated handmade costumes. Video installations during the performance were new and very creative. We enjoyed the performance. The voices are magnificent. We are greatly impressed by the performance and the costumes. The opera is understandable. We easily understood the story. Spectators had the opportunity to watch the Abay opera for free. It was a pleasant surprise and a great gift for the Georgian admirers of classical music. Famous opera singer and honored artist of Kazakhstan, Mayra Muhamedkizi, presented concert in Astana. Other singers participating in Astana My Beautiful Dream concert include honored artists of Armenia, Barsek Tumanyan, Turkish tenor Murat Karahan, and German singer Rodrigo Porras Garulo. They performed masterpieces of the classic opera such as arias, duets, and trio from operas and operettas by Verdi, Puccini, Massenet, and Shostakovich. According to Kazakh opera singer Mayra Muhamedkizi, local audience enjoyed arias about love. The singer believes that the Kazakh people transmit the love for music from generation to generation.
And more than
Қазақтың халық әні мен үшін қаншама опера айтсам да қанымнан сүттен ананың сүтінен
Kazakh folk songs are special to me. I inherited this love from my mother, People's Artist of China. I learned 200 folk songs from her. I selected 100 songs and performed them in 50 countries together with the Kurmangazi Orchestra.
Kurmangazi оркестріменен қазір 50 әнді жаздым.
This is my second time in Astana. I sang Tosca here a couple of years ago. It was a very beautiful 2 evenings. We made 2 performances, and I was so happy to be here in Astana, also in this beautiful theater.